We decided to hike up the hill across the road from Tunnel View just to get a better look down into the valley. And it's a little bit hazy today, so we're going to try to stop back by here at a different time and see if it clears up at all. But looking out over the valley and through it is stunning. Since Tunnel View was so hazy this morning, we decided to move on throughout Yosemite Valley. Our next stop is here at Bridal Veil Falls. This waterfall is completely handicap accessible to view from a couple of different viewpoints. And if you're smart, you'll stop at one of them and snag a couple of hilarious pictures like these where it looks like a UFO. As we moved on throughout Yosemite Valley, the next place that we stopped at was called Cathedral Beach. I actually regret not spending more time here. From Cathedral Beach, you've got a really pretty view of the Merced River along with Yosemite Falls. It would be a great spot for a picnic or even an awesome spot to just sit, put your feet in the water, and relax for a while. Yosemite Falls from the lower vantage point was really incredible. We both really enjoyed sitting here on the benches in the shade and listening to the waterfall. However, it was a really crowded area, to be honest, and the valley was fiercely hot. It was in the high 90s when we were there in midsummer. So at this point, we decided to head on to El Capitan and try to hike to the base of El Capitan, which was pretty steep, to be honest, but well worth it. We are at the base of El Capitan. Here it is, way above us. A huge slab of granite that you can't use in your kitchens. Here it is. Once we realized how beautiful this view is of the Merced River and the valley, we decided to stay here and eat our lunch. Dwayne seemed to be in hog heaven the whole time that we were here. After we finished eating our lunch at Valley View, we decided to exit Yosemite Valley and head on out to Glacier Point Road. But before we did that, we stopped again at Tunnel View, which had cleared up significantly from how hazy it was earlier in the morning. However, despite being able to get a few pictures and videos, it was super crowded. So we only stayed here a few minutes and took some photos and then went on our way. on our way to Sentinel Dome, but had to stop. Before we get there, you can see Taft Dome on the way. This hike is definitely not an easy one. It's pretty steep uphill and it's 1.2 miles one way. Dwayne and I keep commenting on how blue the sky is right now. There is no filter on this video. It is just what we're seeing. Well, I don't understand how it could be this, like, vivid. It sure is. All right, Dwayne, what do you think about Sentinel Dome? Wow factor for sure. Yeah.
It's got some, oh my God.
We are sucking wind. We are on top of Sentinel Dome looking down at Yosemite Falls, and this was an excruciatingly difficult hike for us anyway. Very steep. Hiking in your 40s, it's different than hiking in your 20s. I'm trying to record 360. Goodness, still out of breath. Trying to record 360 degree views here, but this wind is brutal up here on top of the dome. It's amazing what all you can see though from up here. The Sierra Nevadas are beautiful. You can see Half Dome, but the mountain peaks way off in the distance are what's getting us. We have just sat here and stared at how beautiful they are. If you know what kind of wildflowers these are, let me know down in the comments. They were beautiful, and I kept looking up on Google trying to figure out what the name of these wildflowers in this meadow were, but I can't seem to figure it out. So if you do happen to know what they are, definitely comment down below because I would really like to find that out. Hiking out to Taft Point is pretty easy. It's not a very difficult hike. You do have to cross over a small creek, but as long as you have waterproof hiking shoes, you should be okay. It's only about 2.2 miles round trip, and you do get to walk through the forest and see all kinds of greenery, which was absolutely beautiful. I took a bunch of pictures, of course, but we had a great time. Like I said, super easy hike, very chill, just hiking through the forest. We did miss the bear. Apparently there was a bear sighting up ahead of us, but that's okay. I can do without bear sightings. Welcome to Taft Point. Can hear the Merced River below. It's a bit hazy at Taft Point today, but you can see down into Yosemite Valley. I believe that's El Capitan. View of Yosemite Falls, and it's one of the tallest waterfalls in the world. Pretty cool. Just started climbing back up to go to the car from Taft Point. Had to rest. Pretty view. We are almost to the end of Glacier Point Road and intend to stop first at Washburn Point. The sun is starting to go down quite a bit, but we are hoping to still be able to see some really pretty views because it's a very clear day. Well, from up here at Washburn Point, we can see Nevada Falls and Vernal Falls. We intend to hike Vernal Fall tomorrow, but Nevada Falls sure looks beautiful from up here, as do the Sierra Nevadas and Half Dome, and good grief. I will say too that you can park right at the fence, the short rock knee wall fence, and still be able to see out. So it is a handicap accessible view, which to me makes it even better. Well, we are headed on to Glacier Point, and we are going to sit atop the rocks and watch the sun go down. We packed our dinner, packed a sandwich and some chips and water and all that stuff in our cooler, and as soon as we get there and get a good spot, I intend to set up the GoPro. It doesn't have a lot of battery left, but I would love to catch the sun going down. This one curve here is famous where you get a clear shot of Half Dome, and then as you continue down Glacier Point Road, it does get quite curvy. So if you're somebody who has a tendency to get car sick, you definitely want to have some medicine with you, maybe a ginger ale or whatever it is that you typically have to keep when you're going down curvy roads. From Glacier Point, you can see down into Yosemite Valley. And I believe this is Upper and Lower Yosemite Falls. So this is our GoPro footage. I tried to do a time lapse for the sunset, but it was pretty windy and it kind of started to make me nervous, even though I have a suction cup thing that the GoPro can go on. So I just ended up taking some really pretty pictures. I will say though that Glacier Point was quite a bit more crowded than we were anticipating. Still really good, still really nice, but definitely more crowded than we thought. This morning we are headed to Vernal Falls. We got in the park before 7 a.m. and we are hoping to find a parking space near Happy Isles Loop. That is where we read that we are supposed to be at. So once we found a park there, then we headed on our way toward the Mist Trail while wearing a bunch of waterproof clothing because we are gonna get wet. On the Mist Trail, so this is at the bottom of Nevada and Vernal Falls. The water is thumping. And then on up over here, so let me zoom in, to the left of that tree is the famous Yosemite Falls. This is what is called a deathly lethal water rapid. That is some power. It is landing that rock right there. Man, we are getting drenched, but it is worth it. Rainbow. Oh, look, it goes all the way across now. Yeah. What do you think, Dwayne?
There we go.
How about to zoom in on those people walking? We were just down there. I'm feeling the burn. I know. So this is above Vernal Falls, but not anywhere close to Nevada. Just slightly beyond the top of Vernal Falls. And there's an emerald pool. That's really pretty. This water is moving at the speed of lightning. And it is hitting that so hard down there. That's why they say there's no ankle deep anything allowed. It is just a rushing river. Dwayne and I say this is the fastest swift water I think we've ever seen in real life. That is frightening. Okay, so the waterfall that you see at the tippy top is Nevada Falls. We are not going up there. I cannot handle it. It is just too much. The hike we just did is very strenuous. I don't know that this is called anything, but it leads down into deathly quick water. each of those branches coming out from it is the size of a regular tree, particularly that one big one with the circle things on it.
Yeah.
Circle pattern. I mean, they are just huge. This is the grizzly giant in Yosemite. Our first stop on our way to Tuolumne Meadows, which is kind of near the end of Tioga Road, was Siesta Lake. It really isn't that far of a hike from where you have to park, which is just alongside the road. So we checked this out. It was okay, but we came, we saw, and then we decided to head on. We were ready to see Olmsted Point and whatnot, and also we were getting really hungry. We are at Yosemite Creek picnic area. Very peaceful and pretty creek. Lots of wildflowers sprinkled throughout, and a little whiny man. Okay, he's trying to figure out how to get onto that rock, I believe. I have a feeling I'll be asked to join him. So we are at Olmsted Point on Tioga Road, which is in Tuolumne Meadows of Yosemite. This is the side of Half Dome that people typically climb up, I believe. I believe we're looking at the climbing side. So we've seen Half Dome from a bunch of different angles. And it looks like we're close, but we're actually incredibly far away. I just zoomed in. But yeah, I think that's the side, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty cool. We are at Lake Tenaya.
I think so, Tenaya. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. And it is just glistening this direction. And then you look to where we're actually facing. It's beautiful, grayish, whitish rock all down this little valley. And then more greenery that way. People are swimming, playing. Had to make a little stop because this roadside view was so pretty. I just had to stop and stare at it for a few minutes. So this is the Tuolumne Meadows footbridge. It's crossing I guess it's the Tuolumne River. Beautiful colors, almost emerald green over there. And it's on the way to the Sentinel Springs, which you said that you read. It's like carbonated water coming out of a spring. Tuolumne Meadows is definitely a peaceful place to be, so much more peaceful than Yosemite Valley, which is insanely busy. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
And we're hiking to the Soda Springs from the visitor center. I'm going to do a 360. And this was called what up here?
Parsons Lodge.
Parsons Lodge. There was a really nice ranger stationed there. Really cool building. There's the little tiny springs popping up on this walkway, not just the ones in the house that I hit my head on. After we were done in the Tuolumne Meadows area, I talked Dwayne into driving just outside of the Yosemite sign, and we stumbled upon this gorgeous roadside view here, and I had to stop and take it in for just a moment. This is off of El Portal Road between Yosemite Valley and Tuolumne Meadows. Actually, I don't know if we're on I think we're on Big Oak Flat. We have got to turn onto El Portal here in just a minute. I'm really glad that we decided to take El Portal Road back to our hotel because the entire thing pretty much runs along the Merced River. So it kind of made the commute back to our hotel to pack up and have to head back home, which of course we always dread. It made that commute much more tolerable. That's all, folks.